Thank you for that, Brianda. Later on this morning, we do expect to learn more about these search and rescue efforts that are still underway in Kerr County and across Central Texas.
At least 80 people have died statewide due to the flooding, and now survivors and state leaders are asking why emergency alerts were not more visible.
Our Dia Wall is live in Kerr County this morning working to get some of those answers. And Dia, we know that so many people have lost loved ones from this tragedy, but so much attention focused on those young girls who were attending a Christian camp over the weekend.
You know, Mark, it is really hard to encapsulate just the heartbreak you feel for those families. You know, you send your kids to a camp that's been in operation for a century here along the Guadalupe River, a Christian camp for girls. They're having a great time with friends, and we're hearing so many stories about those relationships. And you may see signs of support start to pop up, not only across North Texas, but across the state. People are tying green ribbons around trees, kind of a tie back to the colors of Camp Mystic to show their support for those lives lost, those young girls that we will truly never forget. Highland Park ISD actually issued a statement saying that their hearts are heavy and they're deeply saddened to report the loss of multiple students, and our thoughts and prayers are with all of the families deeply affected by this unimaginable tragedy. You know, we got to talk about some of their names. Brooke and Blair Harbor were students at St. Rita's Catholic Church in Dallas. They were in a cabin with their grandparents. They're still missing right now. Family wrote on a GoFundMe that their rosaries were with them. They were found holding hands. Their parents survived. The Fort Worth Diocese and the family of Hadley Hannah say the 8-year-old is still one of the missing girls from Camp Mystic. And then there's Eloise Peck, who just finished the 2nd grade at Bradfield Elementary. She is confirmed among the victims. And Lila Bonner with her. Stories have come out about how those girls were best friends. And then there's 9-year-old Janie Hunt of Dallas, who also died in the tragedy, reportedly attending Camp Mystic with several of her cousins from the Hunt family of Dallas. Tavia Hunt, the wife of Kansas City Chiefs owner Clark Hunt, writing on social media, "Our hearts are broken by the devastation from the floods and the tragic loss of so many lives, including a precious Hunt cousin, along with several friends, little girls." So the ripple effects of this tragedy are just going to continue to unfold because it's not just one family. These are friends. These are folks who are in community. And then you also have to think about those who are still here, the people who did survive, the people who did make it through this unimaginable tragedy. That's the only word I can think of to describe it. We're at Louise Hayes Park here in Kerrville, in Kerr County, and I did want to show you guys just some of the remnants of the power and the strength of these floodwaters. While we may not know the road ahead, you can see portions of pavement in the roadway here that have washed up along the ridge here at this park. It just shows you the sheer force. I mean, these pieces have got to be 10 to 12 feet, some of them in length. And so to think about the force it took for the water to move all of that concrete out of the way. You see some of those first responders there. They've been monitoring these floodwaters, I mean, around the clock. We saw officers here posted to make sure that that water didn't rise to a critical level last night. And so we're just continuing to see some of the fallout from that. Mark, Morgan.
I think it's interesting, Dia, just how affected so many Texans feel by this tragedy. And, you know, I spent a week at church camp a couple weeks ago, so I feel for those families at Camp Mystic. I know a lot of people in the state of Texas, the Hill Country is their favorite part of Texas. So it feels like there's this sense of connection to this community and what it's dealing with. And I know that you're a Texas native who lived away for a while, but now you're back, and I know you love your home state. Do you feel like you're getting a sense of that, just that real connectivity to the Hill Country right now?
You know, Mark, it's hard not to, right? I think anyone who is a parent, anyone who has a child that they love, anyone who went on vacation with their grandparents, right? You take the road trip and you camp out. These are core memories for people, not only who grow up here in Texas, but across the country. And we really have seen that outpouring and that connection and that response. We've seen first responders as far away as Nashville that we met last night. We've seen, as you guys have mentioned, you know, first responders from North Texas coming down to support. And so I do think this has captured hearts and minds because everyone can relate to going away to summer camp or going on a road trip with your family. And so definitely it has captured all of our hearts and minds. And as we mentioned, that response is continuing to grow. I'm going to send it to my colleague, Janelle Fort, who is with Texans on Mission, who, Janelle, are ready to deploy this morning to help continue to offer support in the relief effort here.
Yeah, absolutely, Dia. You know, you guys just got to look from Dia at the devastation and destruction there. And as we know, Texans on Mission, they're known, their reputation is that when things like this happen, they are on the ground, they are deploying their teams to help the recovery efforts. That is exactly what is going to be happening here this morning in about 2.5 hours. So at 9 o'clock this morning, they plan on sending 40 volunteers down to the Hill Country to help with those flood relief efforts. This morning, I am joined by Amy Freston. You're the communication director for Texans on Mission. Thank you for setting that early morning alarm this morning to be here with us. Before we got on air, you were telling me just about the emotional toll the folks that are already on the ground, your team's already on the ground, are feeling this morning. Walk me through what they're seeing firsthand.
Yeah, the devastation is extreme, as we've all seen the images, and as you can imagine, the emotional toll, it's heavy, it's raw, it's emotional. And so we have trained chaplains on site. They are trained for trauma response, and they are sitting with these families. They are providing that spiritual and emotional support that they need to get through this time as they deal with this unimaginable loss that's just so heavy. It's very heavy.
And then, you know, I mentioned 40 volunteers heading out this morning. Where are they going and what will they be doing once they hit the ground?
Yeah, so like I said, we already have chaplains there. We are sending more chaplains because the need is so great. We have flood recovery teams that will be heading in as well. They're going to help with the first steps of recovery, doing like mud out is what we call it. It's pulling out that wet insulation, drywall, those type of things, getting the house ready for just rebuild process, that first step of recovery. We're also providing water, and we call them first step kits or hygiene kits. You know, these people have lost everything, and we take so much for granted, just a toothbrush and a toothpaste, washcloth, you know, and those are things that we'll be handing out as well.
And then real quick before I let you go, for people watching this at home and want to help, what do you guys need at this point?
Yeah, right now financial donations are the best thing that helps us with our relief efforts. That can be done at texansonmission.org/hillcountry. And then we are always taking volunteers as well. We will have more signups on our website available for that. If you are available and you want to come down, we will have opportunities for you to do work and help.